The floors of Harrington Enterprises gleamed under the fluorescent lights. Every evening, after the high heels and polished shoes had clicked their way out of the skyscraper, a quieter rhythm began, the steady swish of a mop, the rattle of a cart, the soft hum of a man who knew every corner of the building yet was noticed by none. Michael Turner had worked here for 5 years. His title was simple, janitor, but his life was far more complicated. A widowed single father, he balanced late nights of cleaning with early mornings of packing lunches and helping his 7-year-old daughter, Emily, tie her shoes. His uniform was faded, his back ached, but he never complained. Emily's smile was his paycheck. On this particular Friday evening, the building wasn't as empty as usual. The CEO, Elizabeth Harrington, was hosting an exclusive dinner on the 35th floor for investors and a special guest, Arthur Grant, a billionaire with the power to open or close doors to unimaginable opportunities. The conference room had been transformed into a banquet hall, glowing with candlelight, shimmering glasses, and the aroma of fine cuisine drifting through the air vents. Michael was asked to stay later than usual to ensure everything sparkled. He didn't mind. The extra hours meant a bit more money, and Emily had fallen asleep at a neighbor's, safe and sound. As he polished the chrome fixtures outside the conference room, the doors opened, and laughter spilled into the hallway. Arthur Grant stepped out, his tuxedo crisp, his shoes worth more than Michael's yearly salary. His voice carried arrogance, each word dipped in superiority. Behind him, several other guests chuckled, basking in his influence. Michael instinctively stepped aside, lowering his gaze as he continued wiping the surface of the trash receptacle. But Arthur's eyes caught him. "Would you look at this?" Arthur sneered, gesturing toward Michael with his wine glass. "Even the janitors here look like they've given up on life. No wonder America's falling apart." The group erupted in laughter. Michael froze, his rag clenched in his hand. Heat crept up his neck, but he swallowed it down. He'd endured insults before. He thought of Emily, her gentle voice telling him, "Daddy, you're my hero," and he stayed silent. Arthur wasn't done. "Tell me, do they even pay you enough to feed that belly? Or do you eat leftovers off the boardroom tables?" More laughter. A couple of younger executives shifted uncomfortably, but no one dared speak against the billionaire. Michael lowered his head further, ashamed, though he knew he had nothing to be ashamed of. He worked hard. He provided. But in that moment, the sting of humiliation burned like acid. What none of them noticed was Elizabeth Harrington standing just inside the conference room doors. She had seen everything. The CEO, known for her sharp mind and sharper instincts in the corporate world, had a softness hidden beneath her power. Her own father had once been a factory worker, humble, overlooked, yet proud. Watching Arthur belittle Michael was like watching her father's dignity trampled in front of her. She let the laughter fade before stepping out, her heels clicking with authority. The hallway fell silent. "Arthur," she said coolly, her eyes fixed on him, "is this how you treat people you consider beneath you?" The billionaire blinked, caught off guard. "I was only joking." "Lighten up, Elizabeth. It's just a janitor." Her expression hardened. "Just a janitor? This man's name is Michael Turner. He works tirelessly to keep this building immaculate, often unseen and unappreciated. He's also a single father raising a daughter on his own. I know this because I make it my business to know the people who work for me, the people who make this company run." The silence grew heavier. Arthur shifted uncomfortably, his smirk fading. Elizabeth turned to Michael, her voice softening. "Michael, I'm sorry you were subjected to such disrespect in your own workplace. No one who contributes to Harrington Enterprises is just anything. You are valued here." Michael's throat tightened. Words failed him, but he managed a nod. Arthur let out a dry laugh. "Come on, Elizabeth. You can't be serious. You're going to lecture me over some janitor?" Elizabeth straightened, her presence commanding. "If you cannot respect the people who work here, Arthur, then you do not respect me, my company, or what we stand for. And if that's the case, perhaps Harrington Enterprises isn't the right partner for you. Gasps echoed from the executives who had been silent moments earlier. Cutting ties with Arthur Grant was no small matter, it meant losing millions in potential investments. Arthur's face flushed crimson. You'd risk business over this nobody? Elizabeth didn't hesitate. Over this somebody? Yes. Michael stood frozen, his rag limp in his hand. He couldn't believe what he was hearing. No one had ever defended him like this, certainly not someone as powerful as Elizabeth Harrington. Arthur muttered under his breath, then stormed off down the hallway, his entourage scrambling to follow. The tension broke like glass. Elizabeth turned to Michael again. Michael, please go home to your daughter. And tomorrow, I'd like you to come to my office. We need to talk. For the rest of the night, Michael's heart raced with disbelief. The next day, when he arrived in her office, she greeted him not as an employee but as an equal. She asked about Emily, about his struggles, about his dreams. For the first time in years, someone looked past his uniform and saw him. Michael, she said finally, you've given so much of yourself quietly, without asking for recognition. But I believe people like you are the backbone of everything good in this world. I'd like to offer you a new role, head of facilities management. More responsibility, more pay, and flexible hours so you can be with Emily when she needs you. Michael was speechless. Tears stung his eyes. He thought of his late wife, of the nights he had whispered promises to Emily that life would get better. Maybe this was the start of that promise coming true. But Elizabeth wasn't finished. And one more thing. I want Emily to have opportunities. Harrington Enterprises sponsors scholarships for children of our employees. She deserves the best education possible. Let me help provide that. Michael broke down then, unable to hold back the gratitude swelling in his chest. He thanked her again and again, but Elizabeth simply smiled. Just promise me one thing, never let anyone make you feel small again. You're raising a daughter who sees you as a hero. And she's right. That night, as Michael tucked Emily into bed, she looked at him with wide, curious eyes. Daddy, why are you smiling so much? Michael kissed her forehead. Because, sweetheart, sometimes the world really does notice the good people. And sometimes, kindness changes everything. And in the quiet of that small apartment, lit only by the glow of a bedside lamp, Michael finally believed it.